vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint Supply.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
As I sit here in the Buddy Delaberto Total Maintenance Studios, sipping on my New Orleans own Evermore water, EVA MOR. Just listen to that Francesca commercial, Francesca Deli in Lakeview. They have Evermore water, lots of drink choices, including New Orleans own Evermore. I bet Drew Brees likes this water. Evermore is special. The bottling plant sits right atop the aquifer about 35, 40 miles from New Orleans in Covington. The first time this water, thousands of years in the making, protected by impenetrable rock about a half mile below the surface. The first time this water touches air is when you open the cap. High pH, smooth, silky, very thirst quenching, maybe the best water on earth, clearly better water. EVAMOR.com, Evermore.com. You can find it at Rouse's, your local grocery store. Evermore, EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Yeah, it is a Tuesday. Yeah, that Francesca commercial got me thinking about that sloppy roast beef po' boy I had a few weeks ago and a bottle of Evermore water. I grabbed a bottle of Pana, that Italian spring water, and then I looked right to the left. I saw Evermore. I was like, let's swap them out. Get the good stuff. A lot going on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to open up the phone lines in about 3 minutes. The corporal at the controls, give him a salute. The NOPD arrests a person of interest in one of Sunday's 2 second-line shootings. 8 search warrants issued. 8 search warrants issued. It's not like the NOPD can just write up a search warrant. They have to present evidence before a judge for that search warrant to be green-lighted. 4 guns seized so far. No, there's going to be numerous arrests. Those that committed these crimes will be arrested. I think one of the people that they have a search warrant out for, or maybe he was that person of interest that was arrested, 15 years old. 15 years old, like an 8th or 9th grader. Can't even drive yet. Unbelievable. Ann Kirkpatrick, NOPD chief, superintendent of the NOPD, says the 2 second-line shootings, not related at all. Not related. Different people. That kind of makes sense. Because if you can consider the first one, no one killed, 10 wounded, 10 shot. 6 of the 10 were female, including a 71-year-old woman. Now, these criminals get guns. They modify them to go to fully automatic, a pistol, fully automatic. Just hold the trigger. And then they modify the magazine where it could hold like 30, 35 clip, and things like a foot long sticking out the bottom of the gun. Just obnoxious. So it's essentially a little handheld machine gun. And when you're just rattling off shots like that, the gun's going to go up and down, sideways, all over the place. Folks that actually shoot guns, sometimes there's this mental tendency, recoil's coming, so you're pulling the trigger and kind of forcing the gun down, and you're missing your target low. You just need to pull that trigger with your finger only. I'm talking about folks that, shoot targets and the like. Folks that are, they know guns. No, these jokers, they're just pulling the trigger. The gun's flying all over. Bullets are flying all over. They're sort of just aiming in the general direction of their target and then letting loose a bunch of bullets. That's why in that first shooting, you had 10 wounded, 6 females, including a 71-year-old woman. I'm pretty sure they weren't the targets. Second shooting, 2 killed, 1 wounded. And Kirkpatrick says today that those 2 second-line shootings have nothing to do with each other, not related. 1,000 days ago today, 1,000 days ago, unbelievable, Russia invaded Ukraine. Joe Biden over the weekend authorized the use of long-range missiles, U.S.-made missiles, fired into Russia from Ukraine. Putin's already threatening using nuclear weapons in response. If the U.S. is spying the missiles, then it's the U.S. and NATO countries at war with Russia. The U.S. has been supplying arms to Ukraine for 999 out of 1,000 days, right when the war started. It's amazing to me, like, the level of the weapon, like if it's can go into Russia. I mean, Ukraine's invaded Russia. They went into this Kursk region. They hold a lot of territory. Tens of thousands of folks had to abandon their Russian homes and move north, go north. Now Russia's got a bunch of troops right in that Kursk region, including 10,000 North Koreans. And Ukraine, all by themselves with just assistance of weapons, kills or wounds about 1,200 Russian soldiers a day. 1,200 casualties a day, either killed or wounded. No, it's just not sustainable. It's about 70,000 Ukrainian troops killed and about double that number of Russian troops killed. North of 125,000, maybe somewhere around 140,000 killed. Killed. Plus hundreds of thousands wounded. Just crazy. I just don't understand some Americans that just ready to pull out, like no more supplies, no more weapons, no more aid to Ukraine. You're just going to let Russia go in there and take over the country, do whatever they want? No resistance, no weapons? What's next? Poland? What's next? The crumbling of NATO? It's crazy. You have this country, a sovereign country that was invaded by Russia. We have the opportunity by supplying that sovereign country with weaponry, they're our ally, to basically destroy Russia's military. Putin has not longed for this world. They're all kind of rumors of health issues, getting up in age. He's not going to last forever. Hopefully the next person that takes over Russia isn't so hell-bent like Putin. Someone that actually cares about the Russian citizens and gives them what they want, freedom. Now, I don't get I'm not a war hawk. I'm not some warmonger, pro-war. But boy, this is like a silver lining gift. Ukraine's doing the fight. All of the fighting. All we have to do is supply them with weapons. And the end result is wiping out the Russian military. Boy, E. Niles had some flooding last night, this morning. Street flooding. Some joker in a little two-door electric BMW driving on people's front lawns to get off of the flooded road. How about you park in your driveway and wait for the water to go down and call in late to work or wherever you're going? Cancel your appointment. Obviously, this joker is going to be found out. It's an electric two-door BMW, the little tiny one. How many of those can there be at E. Niles at the Oak Harbor exit in Slidell? How many? Driving across your neighbor's front yard? I mean, I wake up and my front yard has tire tracks going across it because some joker decided to ride up on my yard. No, I'm ticked off about that. Could be felony charges. I mean, depending on the damage to the yard, north of $500 is a felony? could easily be that much in sod and bringing in soil and labor. Just people are insane. Pull off the road and drive on people's front yard, all caught on video. Just crazy. I mean, you got to laugh. This isn't funny. The Mid-Barrataria Sediment Diversion Project, $3 billion worth of diversion. We've already spent $500 million, north of $500 million. Again, delayed. Crazy. Backwards ass Louisiana, our own worst enemy. They're going to do more studies on the diversion when it is overstudied. Absolutely crazy. Hey, the 4 o'clock hour, nothing crazy about Audubon gutters. They've been at it 33 years, since 1991. The Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. You're looking for aluminum siding, you're looking for paint, you're looking for a roofer. That's not Audubon gutters. If you need gutters, that's all they do. No paint, no roofing, no siding, just gutters for your home or business. Audubon Gutters, audubongutters.com. Don't forget the Leaf Guard system. I'll never have to clean my gutters again. You need gutters for your home or business? audubongutters.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway, across from Oxford, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open 766-9480. 766-9480. I got a couple of Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. I guess we got to get the answer for the first one before we could get the answer for the second one. Yesterday, I mentioned the U.S. Postal Service will release a stamp in 2025. Alan Toussaint, New Orleans' own Alan Toussaint, getting a stamp. How nice is that? The Postal Service said, see if I still have that quote somewhere. Late musician Alan Toussaint, whom Postal Service remembered as a virtuoso pianist, singer, songwriter, composer, arranger, and producer, responsible for scores of hits across multiple genres, will get his own stamp next year. How well written is that? Remembered as a virtuoso pianist, singer, songwriter, composer, arranger, and producer. It's all so true. He was ridiculously versatile, incredible on the piano, could write songs for anybody, black, white, country, rap, rock and roll, classic, doesn't matter. Was a total genius and a humble man, a sweet, humble man. How deserving. One of New Orleans' greats. Alan Toussaint. Let me check this dopey list of that top 50 list. Toussaint, I think, is on it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's on it. The top 50 most significant New Orleanians in history. Mia X is on it. You know, just crazy. And Troy Carter and Cedric Richmond are already on it. Talk about a little early for that. DJ Khaled, whatever his name is. And then just weird ones like folks that were born here but left when they were infants, like Todd Graves, the Raising Cane's guy. Who doesn't respect him? He's a Baton Rouge guy. Reese Witherspoon, the actor. She's a great actor. She left when she was a baby. Clyde Drexler. He's a Texas guy, born in New Orleans. None of these folks contributed to New Orleans in the least, but, you know, the mayor and Master P and whatever group sat around, I don't know, drinking and coming up with this list. It's crazy. There's probably about, of the 50, there might be 25 or 30 that are legit. And then there's another 20, maybe even 25 that are at the very least way premature. And in the case of LaToya Cantrell, she put herself on the list, simply not deserving. Anyway, thank goodness Alan Toussaint is on that list. The U.S. Postal Service will release a stamp early next year. Now, I buy those forever stamps, and I buy like 20 or 30 at a time, and they last me like a year. You know, I'm rarely mailing out stuff, maybe even longer than a year. When the Alan Toussaint forever stamps come out, I'm going to spend like $100. I'm going to get, 70 of them. 80 of them. I think it's 77 cent stamp. I'm gonna get a bunch of them, and I'm gonna use them over the years, and then I don't collect stamps, but I'll probably cut out like 2, keep the little thing they're hooked on, and stick that in my desk drawer forever. All of a sudden, I'm a stamp collector. What other or which other New Orleanian has been on a U.S. postage stamp? Give me the answer to that. I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Just in time for the holidays, guys. Next month, Hanukkah, Christmas, holiday season. She's expecting a great gift from you. You know what she wants? A day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. That's what she wants. She will love it. Now, if you're really on your game, you'll go to one of the 5 locations, because in that lobby foyer area up front, they've got all kind of stuff for her, like bath salts and soap and moisturizers and all kind of stuff that she will love. She'll love slippers and robes and all kind of great stuff for her. So you can get the crew to help you out, and you get a little, bag of goodies for her and the gift card. By the way, you can book a reservation for her. You can print a gift card, any denomination. WoodhouseSpas.com. You can do it online, WoodhouseSpas.com. But I recommend going to one of the 5 locations and get that little goodie bag of moisturizer, candles, all kind of goodies that she'll love. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, no intranet device, no search engines. You either know the answer or you don't. You can call a friend for help, but they can't go online for you. No DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo, Google, none of that. You either know the answer or you don't. What other or which other New Orleanian has been on a U.S. postage stamp? Give me the answer to that. I've got 50 big bucks. Good for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations for you. The second question is, the New Orleanian outside of Allen, Toussaint, that's been on a U.S. postage stamp, which neighborhood did that New Orleanian grow up in? So, yeah, I think you'd have to know the New Orleanian first that's been on a postage stamp, and then maybe you could answer the question which neighborhood they grew up in. Or if you're really savvy and you know who the person is, you could answer the second question first. Corey, I know who the answer is, but I'm going to give the neighborhood. It was Mid-City. It was Kennebra down in St. Bernard, where life is hard, hard, hard. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. This mid-Barrataria sediment diversion project being delayed is just sinful. It is typical Louisiana, the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. Hack politicians getting involved. Plaquemine Parish didn't do some study of all the residents. Are you for or against it? I would imagine that most of them are going to be for it. It protects their homes. It strengthens Barrataria Bay. But government officials have sued to stop the process. Governor Jeff Landry, his guys that he's appointed are all kind of like flaky on this project. It's a $3 billion project that's paid for already. The money's in place. We've already spent $500 million. It's unbelievable. A handful of oyster fishermen and fishermen are going to stop this? It's crazy. That's the cat's name? Confederate Cash. Where's Confederate Cash calling from? Somewhere in the Confederacy. Confederate Cash in New Orleans. What's up, CC?
Yes, baby.
What's Confederate Cash all about? What's that nickname all about?
That's my nickname, brother. I collect the Confederate cash.
Oh, you collect old Confederate money?
And it's worth more than face value.
Oh, I guarantee it is. It's from 1860s.
So By the way, I got a great story about that, but it's a little long. I don't know if we got time. But
Yeah, I got time. Tell us the story, because I'm just intrigued. Collecting Confederate cash is one thing, but wanting that name connected to you, that's a whole other story.
Oh, I wear that like a badge of honor, Corey. What are you talking about?
What's the positive about the Confederacy?
Huh?
What's the positive about the Confederacy?
Every single day, the Confederacy is proven more and more and more right.
More right?
By the way, for all the touchy-feely people out there, and I know you got a lot of them, tell them, and this question applies to you as well. Can you show me on the doll where the Confederate statue hurt you?
Where the Confederate statue hurt me?
I'm gonna hang on and wait for the replies on that.
Well, I'm a white guy, so directly, no, it wouldn't hurt me. But my friends that aren't white,
anybody, it didn't bother a single soul. Let's be honest.
No, it was probably very offensive to a lot of people, and they just swallowed hard and dealt with it. I mean, because people aren't protesting it, doesn't mean it.
Corey, what's a lot of people?
No, I said just because a lot of people weren't protesting doesn't mean people weren't offended. I mean, they're being taken down everywhere. They're being taken off military bases that were named.
WL ran multiple public polls, and the city wouldn't touch it with a 50-foot pole. Every single time they ran that poll, they came back unanimously. Keep black, white, old, young, infirm, and able all called in and said, keep them unanimously. Why do you think Landry wouldn't put it to a public poll?
Oh, I don't think Mitch Landrieu handled it right in the sense just taking him down, nothing to replace him right away, that type of thing. Maybe you do like Virginia. I think Virginia has like a Confederate
monument. Don't even get me started. I'd love to come on your show. We can have an hour-long debate on this. I would love this. But I called in to get my Confederate cash out of you, boy.
All right. It's not Confederate cash. It's Woodhouse Day Spa cash.
Oh, I'll just spend it the same way. And I just drove past the Black Pearl, and I'm going to go past Ella Fitzgerald's house when I get off the phone with you. How close am I?
There's one. You either pick one question or the other. So either who it is or the neighborhood.
Oh, I didn't have to answer both of them?
No. Just one. Only want you to answer one.
Oh.
Why don't you go with the first thought, who it is? Why don't you go with who it is?
What's that?
Why don't you go with who it is?
Ella Fitzgerald.
Incorrect.
No way. Who is it?
You'll have to stick around to find out, but that is incorrect. Yeah, you wrong. Confederate cash on so many levels. I mean, who is it? You and about 50 of your buddies that are pro-Confederacy? Uh-oh, Confederate cash hung up. Confederate cash, call us back another day. But Ella Fitzgerald, as far as I know, not born in New Orleans at all. If I had to guess, I think Ella Fitzgerald's like from the Midwest or something. But let's see. We'll Google it and find out. Oh, wow. I got to take a break. The corporal says I'm way overdue. Thank you, Corporal. We're coming right back, New Orleans. Confederate cash. Eek!
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops, shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. Day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Proud of the moniker Confederate Cash. That's just crazy. Ella Fitzgerald, by the way, a Virginia native. Virginia. Nothing to do with New Orleans. Sorry, Confederate Cash. But I got to admit, you know, we take all comers. We never cut anyone off. We don't screen calls. But I'd rather not give a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate to some guy that is known as Confederate Cash and embraces the name, wanted the monuments to stay up. You know, Mitch Landrieu rocked the boat. It wasn't the smoothest way of doing things. But honestly, like, who has a regret on that now? And then if you're really hell-bent on it, you could do like Virginia. Virginia has this like Confederate park, and it's not to, you know, put a spotlight on the Confederacy in a positive way. It's the opposite. Like, this is the, you know, tomfoolery, the crazy stuff that went on. That Liberty Monument was like on Canal Street, and they moved it to like, it's basically like the back door of the city. It's about like a power plant. They've taken that one down, but almost in a way, it was almost a positive being there. Like, you could have a plaque. This thing used to be in a prime location. Now we moved it over here. This, you know, back of the city location, kind of the, you know, the rear end of the city, the service entrance of the city, by the train tracks, by a power tower, an electricity tower. You know, just because to de-emphasize it, because it was so wrong, so hate-filled. Now, you can sit here and play this Civil War game like it was about the economy. It was about the economy, and, you know, the Northeast was, you know, getting into Pre-industrial revolution, they were more advanced. The South was more rural, farming and the like. No, it was about keeping slavery. It's just insane. And as far as the monuments, I grew up out by the lakefront by UNO. I grew up on Robert E. Lee. I much prefer Allen Toussaint for that street name. It's just beautiful. It's fantastic. It's great. Robert E. Lee, I think, came to New Orleans one time, maybe twice, like Jackson Barracks or something like that. And I know a little bit about Robert E. Lee. Almost 40 years in the U.S. military. About 30-something in the U.S. Army, and about 4 or 5 in the, Confederacy. And back then, like we say the United States of America is today, the United States of America is. Back then they said the United States of America are, because states were bigger than the country back then. States considered themselves bigger than the country. Folks were more into their state than they were America back then. So it's a different time. I might come up with all kind of arguments to justify it. I'm not. I'm just telling you facts. And it still doesn't justify it. No, the Confederacy is an embarrassment. An embarrassment. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing positive about it. No one had anything right. Thank God the war went the way it went. Are you kidding me? We already have crazy racism and discrimination going on in 2024, and more so in the South, generally speaking, than in the North or in the West. So it's still not like fully corrected. Hell, think about women and homosexuals. It's unbelievable. But no, there's no positive with the Confederacy. Hey, two $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. Allen Toussaint's getting a stamp early next year. Which other New Orleanian was put on a U.S. postage stamp? Give me the answer to that. I've got 50 big bucks for you. Or you can do it backwards. I got a second question. Which neighborhood did that person that was put on a U.S. postage stamp grow up in? Born and raised in? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. So you might know the answer and the neighborhood. Give us the neighborhood. That's the tougher question, and maybe that'll spur somebody on. Oh wow, I know who that person is that got a postage stamp. Hey, remember, no intranet device, no search engines. You either know the answer or you don't. You can call an intelligent friend and ask them, but they can't use the intranet device or search engines. No bueno. Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. Hey, Tuesday through Friday, Trey Yen has some unbelievable lunch specials. Every Tuesday through Friday for lunch, about 20 different lunch specials to choose from. And then they'll have 2 or 3 specials on the board that aren't part of the regular lunch menu. So north of 20 different entrees to choose from. Comes with some combination pork and shrimp fried rice. They're like $10, $11, $12 each. $10, $11, $12 each. I bought that homeless guy, Robert. He used to park his like half dozen grocery carts full of a bunch of stuff by the sewage and water board on Claiborne's. Now he's moved down Claiborne's a little bit. He's literally Claiborne's and like Audubon Boulevard. I don't know how long that's going to last. Going by Audubon Boulevard, folks with wherewithal, folks that are going to make the call. Tulane University, I don't think they want that. Anyway, the dude's name's Robert. I brought him Burger King a few times, McDonald's. It's ironic because I don't eat that stuff. I heard Bill Maher talking about everybody likes McDonald's. It tastes good. Fast food tastes good. Not really. I go to like Raising Cane's only, maybe Chick-fil-A every now and then, and it's strictly like an emergency. You know, something's going to hit the fan, something's going to happen unexpectedly. So that's when I go. I don't need to proactively go. I go when it's sort of an emergency. I'm just older, not a big fan of, fast food. kind of watch what I eat now, work out a little bit, trying to stay healthy, that kind of stuff. Anyway, fast food for Robert, the homeless guy at Burger King, was like $12. McDonald's was like 10. And just like a Whopper meal with a big fries and a big Coke. I think I got a hot apple pie when I went to McDonald's for him. It's like 10, 11, $12. Exactly the same amount you'll pay at Trey Yen in Mandeville. If you're an office manager on the North Shore and you got to buy your employees, get them lunch, could be 10 people, could be 100 people. Trey Yen will do you right. $10, $11, $12 for lunch specials. And they come in that white styrofoam to-go container. It's heavy. It must weigh like 2 pounds. A lot of food. And it's not Chinese food. Chinese food would be better than fast food. It's Chinese cuisine. It's Trey Yen. Tuesday through Friday lunch specials. Tuesday through Sunday dinner. So good. Trey Yen in Mandeville on the North Shore. 2 $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Alan Toussaint's getting a stamp early next year. Which other New Orleanian was on a U.S. postage stamp? 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Yeah, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Just in time for holiday, guys. Get her what she wants, a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse. The NOPD arrests a person of interest from one of 2 Sunday second line shootings. Ann Kirkpatrick says the 2 shootings had nothing to do with each other, not related. 8 search warrants issued. 4 guns seized. They're going to get everybody. 1,000 days ago today, Russia invaded Ukraine. Biden over the weekend authorized the use of long-range U.S.-made missiles fired into Russia from Ukraine. It's about time. Sadly, this mid-Barrataria diversion project is getting bogged down. I just don't understand Louisiana. We are so second rate. We like to lose. We got the money lined up on this $3 billion project. It's going to reinvigorate Barrataria Bay. And it's going to put it back to the way it was when these oystermen and fishermen were kids, or their dads were kids, their parents were kids. Fresh water. And now all of a sudden they're concerned about the dolphin. They could give a crap about the dolphin. It's strictly about their livelihood exclusively. It's like a few hundred folks. It's sinful behavior. It's selfish behavior. They're going to get compensated. Part of the $3 billion is compensating them, like $375 million going to them. Go get your oysters. Go fish somewhere else, farther south. It'll just move it south. That's all it's going to do. Let's hit the Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. Chuck joins us in Metairie. What up, Chuck?
What do you say, Corey? How are you today?
Doing well. Yourself?
All right. Now that the rain's gone, I'd like to venture a guess at the postage stamp.
All right.
The who, because I don't know. I don't think I know the where. I might, but I think the who is Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. That is a great guess. Let's see. Was Louis Armstrong in a postage stamp? Yeah, I think that was like a long time ago. Yeah, 1995. You are correct.
Yeah, you're right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Good work, Chuck. Don't go anywhere, Chuck, in Metairie.
Hey.
Wait, hang on a second, Chuck. I'll come right back to you after this quick break. Margaret, too. Don't move.
All righty.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Hey, Chuck and Metairie, I didn't want to cut you off, but you are correct. Louis Armstrong.
It's all good.
What else did you want to chat about, Chuck?
Well, I didn't know whether I could take the second guess on where.
No. Only one gift card at a time.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Only one gift card at a time. We're going to leave that. There's actually another New Orleanian that's been on a stamp outside of Louis Armstrong. So if someone knows Louis Armstrong's neighborhood or the other New Orleanian, and then a third question, their neighborhood. Yeah, I've got you're adding to the gift card giveaway.
I got you. Hey, I did want to make a comment. You remember about a week or two ago, you were talking about that new New Orleans Walk of Fame.
Yep.
I didn't hear you mention Fats Domino.
Fats Domino's on the list.
He is? Okay, good.
Yep. But let's see. I think Pete Fountain's on it, but Al Hurt is not. I mean, it's just the list is insane. And then you have like Mia X. It's like, really?
Yeah.
You have Cedric Richmond and Troy Carter. They're like active politicians today. It's like they're 50-something years old. It's like you got time for that. It's way premature. Maybe in the future they get on it, but the initial top 50, you know, it's crazy. And then the sad part is there's no like, you know, Buddy Bolden, Sidney Bechet, Jelly Roll Morton, Professor Longhair. None of these people are on it.
Right.
Yeah, Ruby Bridges, Lucille Bridges, her mom. You know the McDonough 3. They're not on it. Louis Prima's not on it. Andrew Young, ambassador to the UN, former Atlanta mayor. He's not on it. Dave Dixon, father of the Dome, father of the Saints. He's not on it. I mean, this is getting a little crazy. Paul Morphy, that old chess champion. How about Mel Ott? He's like still top 15 in pro baseball home runs. Will Clark, you could argue. Warren LaRuth, Ralph Dupas, the boxer. I mean.
Yeah, what about your boy, the record producer? Metaxas?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Cosimo Matassa, exactly.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. No, it's just the dopiest. Yeah, I think it's LaToya Cantrell, Master P, a lot of alcohol, some big old spleef lit up, and that's what they come up with. They went on Google and they pulled up some names, and then they, you know, just came up with some wacky, weird ones. Says if they're 50 on this list, maybe 25 or 30 are legit. And like I said earlier, a good 20 to 25 are at the very least premature, and some of them not deserving at all. It's just, it's pathetic. And then the mayor, the icing on the cake, the caveat, the mayor puts herself on the list. She is in friggin' sane.
I think that's her final slap in the face to everybody.
Well, I mean, she's in Rio or on the way back from Rio right now. 10 days ago, it was Barcelona, Spain. A month ago, it was Mexico City. Junket Cantrell living up to the name, man. No, I said yesterday, Chuck, you don't want to wish ill will on people, and you don't want to get giddy when someone else is suffering. But the day this mayor gets indicted, and then the day she gets found guilty, and then the third day where she goes to jail, I think a lot of New Orleanians are going to be celebrating that because of her pathetic attitude, just crappy attitude.
Oh, well, I got to go, Corey.
Hey, hang on, Chuck. Got to get some info so we can tighten you up. Don't go anywhere. That's Chuck in Metairie. The Corporal Chuck's going to get some info from you, and we're going to get you that $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Yeah, you're right, Chuck. Louis Armstrong was on a U.S. postage stamp. There's at least one other New Orleanian on a postage stamp, and Alan Toussaint's going to be on one early next year. How great is that? Good job, U.S. Postal Service. Hey, speaking about historic New Orleans, the Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast. Want to stay somewhere special in New Orleans? You got friends and family coming in for the holiday, maybe Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, over the holidays. Why are you going to put them up at a hotel? Why are you going to cram a bunch of people in your own house? Put them up at the Grand Victorian on the historic St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, on St. Charles Avenue, in the historic Garden District. This house was built in 1893. It has been meticulously renovated back to original. It's incredible. It's a beautiful home. And if you're listening or watching from outside New Orleans, the Grand Victorian is a great way to visit the city. You can walk to great restaurants, Britannia Magazine, St. Charles, right there. Get on the streetcar, go downtown, go uptown. Don't even need a rental car, a vehicle. Now, the Grand Victorian still has rooms for the Super Bowl, surprisingly. Valentine's Day weekend, rooms still available. Talk about a romantic getaway, guys. French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, rooms still available. The Grand Victoria only has like 10, 11, 12 rooms. It's a bed and breakfast. Mardi Gras, fully sold out. Mardi Gras is fully sold out already. And Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, they're going to sell out soon. Thanksgiving, Christmas holidays, New Year, all that's going to sell out soon. GVBB.com is how you can find out more, how you can book a room at the Grand Victorian. GVBB.com is the website. And it's not just for visitors coming from out of town. The ultimate staycation for locals to enjoy the city, doing it in style, a huge mansion on St. Charles Avenue. GVBB.com, the Grand Victorian Bed and Breakfast. Check them out online. Book that room right now. GVBB.com. Do New Orleans in style. The Grand Victorian. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Got a lot to cover. Emily Maw, the head of DA Jason Williams' Civil Rights Division, calling it a day. She's resigned. We'll fill you in on that. The Mid-Barrataria Diversion Project on hold again. What a nightmare. A driver in Eden Isles avoiding the flooded street drives on people's front lawns this morning. Crazy. An arrest made in those second line shootings. I'll have all of that and more. 5 o'clock power hour now.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for red. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. 5 o'clock power hour is upon us. That's Mr. Drew Brees, #9. Thank you for that, Mr. Drew Brees. Got a lot lined up for you in this 5 o'clock powwow on a Tuesday. The rain seems to be gone. Tomorrow, the cold front, really tonight, tomorrow, we'll wake up tomorrow morning, it'll be like 61, 62 on the South Shore, maybe high 50s on the North Shore, but it's going to warm up to around 70. But then by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, temperatures are going to drop. And when you wake up Thursday morning, it'll be like 48 degrees on the South Shore. Yeah, you right. Overdue for that. I want those mosquitoes gone, man. Go outside playing with Tolly, especially like in the grass. If I stop and I'm just petting him, everything's fine. I walk in the house, I'm like, oh, I got a scratch. I got a little itch. Look down, I got like 3 mosquito just like landed on my ankle, filled up about a quarter of his tank, hopped about a ½ inch over, inserted the prong into my, foot again and started sucking out blood. Hops over a third time. You hit that mosquito and kill it, there's going to be your blood spot on the wall. Just full of blood, full belly busting open. Hopping 3 times, 3 little whelps on my ankle. That mosquito was loving life. Didn't even have to fly away, just moved ½ inch over and reinserted the prong or whatever it is and started pumping blood out of my system. I think a full quart. All right. Anyway, that cold weather kills the mosquitoes. I think if the wind's blowing a mile an hour or more, a mosquito can't fly in it. So it's that dead calm and you got puddles and stuff around your house. You're going to have mosquito problems. Speaking of problems, Sunday, not 1, but 2 second-line shootings. Ann Kirkpatrick, superintendent of the NOPD, says the 2 second-line shootings not related at all. Not related at all. In the first one, 10 people were shot. No one killed, 10 wounded, 6 were female, including a 71-year-old. These these juveniles, and I say children, it could be 20, 25 years old, just the big extended magazine, making a pistol automatic, just hold the trigger and it empties the entire magazine. If you've ever shot a pistol, I don't care what it is, it's got a kick, it's got recoil. You've got to pull the trigger with your finger only and keep your hand steady so you hit the target you're shooting at. Paper targets, metal targets. These jokers' target is a human being, and they don't know how to shoot. Shooting the gun, holding it sideways, just all this clownery. And then a 30, bullet magazine and automatic. So the gun's just flailing all over the place. They're just spraying bullets all over. That's why 10 people were shot in the first shooting. 6 of them were female, including a 71-year-old. The second shooting, 2 killed, 1 wounded. The NOPD makes an arrest, a person of interest in one of the 2 Sunday second-line shootings. 8 search warrants issued, 8. So far, NOPD has seized 4 guns. They're going to get everybody. They're going to get more weapons, and these jokers are going to go into the jail. They're going to go into the Orleans Parish Jail and then eventually Angola. That's how this is going to go down. These young juveniles and above, 15 to 25, the repercussions, cause and effect, action, reaction, just oblivious to this. Just act out, emotionally charged. Aren't concerned about repercussions or what will this action create for you. And then worse, it's like you're not even hitting the target. You're just spraying bullets everywhere. No, it's obnoxious. It's like 2 crimes in one, shooting people and then just arbitrarily spraying bullets over there, just not a care in the world. 1,000 days ago today, 1,000 days ago today, Russia invaded Ukraine. Biden over the weekend, President Biden authorized the use of long-range U.S.-made missiles fired into Russia from Ukraine for the Ukraine military. Russia's freaking out about it. Putin, we may have to launch nuclear weapons. If NATO and the U.S. are going to supply these weapons, it means they're in the war with Ukraine. The United States has been in the war with Ukraine. If it's 1,000 days in, we've been at it for 950 plus. Aid, military weaponry. No, it's about time we give them missiles that can reach military that's about to come into Ukraine. I mean, instead of a reactive fight, it's a proactive fight. Wow, this is where the missiles and drones are being launched from in Russia that are knocking out, and killing people in Ukraine. Let's hit that target in Russia. 10,000 North Korean troops are in that Kursk region. I mean, Ukraine's got big you-know-whats. They go invade Kursk, Russia, take it over. Tens of thousands of Russians having to move north, abandon their homes. It's an embarrassment for Putin. Running out of soldiers. 1,200 a day. 1,200 casualties a day in the Russian military, either killed or wounded. No, you've got to give Ukraine the right weaponry so they can proactively fight this war. And then when there is some peace talks, and maybe it's under President Trump, Ukraine actually has some leverage. No, they need to get all of the Donbass, Crimea, everything back. Sovereign country that Russia invaded. No excuse. And Putin's not going to be around forever. That's a blessing. He's going to be gone. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480. 766-9480. Alan Toussaint will be on a U.S. postage stamp early next year. So deserving. Chuck in Metairie got one of the answers right. Which other New Orleanian or New Orleanians have been on a stamp? Louis Armstrong's one. There's still another one I know of. And then which neighborhood did Louis Armstrong grow up in? And the other person, New Orleanian that was on a stamp, which neighborhood did they grow up in? Who are they? 766-9480. That's basically 4 questions. Louis Armstrong was an answer to 1. 3 remain. Which neighborhood did Louis Armstrong live in? Which other New Orleanian was on a postage stamp? Which neighborhood did they grow up in? Separate questions. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. My street floods a little when it rains bad, when a bunch of inches come down quickly like we had early this morning, 4 or 5 a.m. Obviously, some houses, some streets in E. Niles flooded too. Some joker that apparently lives at E. Niles in one of those little 2-door electric BMWs, the little small one, driving across his neighbor's front lawns to get off the flooded street. How about stay home until the water subsides on the street? Call in late to work. Call into your appointment. Tell them you're going to be late. Driving across the front yards. They're going to find this person. B, I think it's a felony, not a misdemeanor. $500 plus is a felony. I would think just the tire damage to the front yard, bring in soil, bring in sod, have some laborers do it. It's got to be north of $500. What are people thinking? I'm just going to drive across my front neighbor's yards? This is just crazy behavior. Crazy. Speaking of crazy, the Mid-Barrataria Sediment Diversion Project delayed again. This time, so more studies can be done. This thing was studied for 20 years. It got the green light. The money's lined up. $3 billion in money. The state's already spent $500 million, north of $500 million on this project. Yet a few oystermen and a few fishermen, like a few dozen, maybe a little north of 100, they're going to bog the works down. And now this lawsuit where it needs to be studied more because they're worried about, the fertilizer and runoff from the river going into Barrataria Bay. You've got a marsh or a wetland that filters that before it just flows right into the bay. So this is Louisiana cutting off its nose to spite its face. This is the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. Us. Just sinful. Terrible. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour on a Tuesday. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. 766-9480.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour. Corey Johnson with you. Rouse's Markets phone lines 766-9480. Roy joins us in Metairie, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. What up, Roy?
Hey, yeah, I'm stuck in traffic right now, trying to get to the Oxnard Fitness Center, formerly Elmwood Fitness Center.
Ah, there you go. Yep, over there. Gotcha.
I think I might know the answer to your 3 questions. The one with...
Well, no, we only need one question. Pick one of the 3 remaining.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll pick the stamp. Fats Domino.
Wow, Fats Domino. That's a good one. Let's see if he was on a stamp. I hope you're right. That he should be. Was Fats Domino ever on a U.S. postage stamp? Yes. Nice. First ever forever stamp. The first inductees were all pioneers in the world of rock and roll. Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, Fats Domino, Buddy Holly, Everly Brothers, Ray Charles, James Brown, Sam Cooke, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Boy, they did their homework. This isn't like the top 50 most significant New Orleanian list that the mayor put herself on. That is like pioneers in rock and roll. Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, Fats Domino, Buddy Holly, the Everly Brothers, Ray Charles, James Brown, Sam Cooke, Jerry Lee Lewis. That's awesome. You are correct. Excellent work, Roy.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Fats Domino. Probably Eric Paulson and Fats Domino are hanging out right now.
Yeah.
Good job, Roy.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, excellent. That wasn't on my list. That one went over my head. Brilliant. Anything else on your mind besides picking up 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse?
Well, not really. I'm happy with the Saints right now and Tulane.
Boy,
but not so happy with LSU. You
sound like me.
Brian Kelly, he says he doesn't want to throw a screen pass because the linemen are too big or something. And when you're watching a Saints game, they throw screen passes, or Texas or any of these other college teams. Why is he so reluctant to throw a screen pass.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't hear that comment. And then Kelly just yelling at the receivers. I mean, I don't know. I hope he can keep it together. I know he's older and, he probably doesn't fully relate to today's players like maybe a younger coach would. But he's got to get some defensive linemen. He's got to recruit. This recruiting class looks great. It's like top 2 or 3 in the country. He's got to hold it together. He's got to bring it in. And he's got to bring in some defensive linemen. I've never seen an LSU team so weak on the D-line. And then 2 starters are transfers from other schools. I mean, normally LSU's got 4 great starters and then about 2 or 3, maybe 4 backups that could start at a lot of other places. Never seen the D-line so weak. But, boy, you mentioned Rizzi's got 2 straight Saints wins. They're looking pretty damn good under him. And John Sumrall is incredible. That the coach at Tulane is a flat-out winner. He's only 42. He gets it. He loves Uptown. He loves the campus, loves his job, loves they had like 40 players from last year's team. He brought in like 40 new players, transfers and the like. And he's just amazed how they have come together as a, quote, team. It's one of the pleasant surprises he's talked about. No, I love John Sumrall and the Wave. What a fun team to follow.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the Raging Cajuns, they were in the hunt and they blew it to South Alabama, but they were getting that. They were in that playoff scenario.
They were like 26th in the last poll, 27th, right outside the top 25. No, they were UL Lafayette playing some pretty good football. Tulane's got a good chance. I mean, they take care of Memphis and they beat Army in the AAC championship game. They may pass Boise State in the polls and be that 12th playoff team. Who knows?
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully so. My goodness. And then the other scenario would be if they don't make the playoff and if LSU can win out, maybe there'll be a Tulane LSU bowl game. And if I were LSU, I'd want to have nothing to do with John Sumrall and Tulane. Tulane is a much more complete team, a more disciplined team, a better coach team. They're better than LSU.
Yeah, I agree. And I would love to see the rivalry come back again. And it was LSU that stopped it.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do it. It would have to be like, 5 at Tiger Stadium, 1 at Yeoman, or 1 at the Dome, something like that. It's all about money. And,
right.
They're not going to split the gate evenly. They're not going to do home and home. It's not going to be LSU at Yeoman, the next year LSU and Tulane in Baton Rouge. So, and then Tulane's got pride. They're like, we're not doing 3 or 4 at your place to 1 at our place. So they got to figure it out. I don't know how they'll figure it out, but they got to figure it out.
Right. All right, Corey. Well, love your show.
Thanks, Roy. Don't go anywhere. Hang on a second. The corporal's going to get some info from you. We're going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Excellent work. Roy with Fats Domino. Chuck in Metairie. What do you have? Mahalia? Louis Armstrong. Yeah, nice. And then CC in New Orleans. We'll call him that instead of Confederate Cash. What a weird nickname. He was incorrect with Ella Fitzgerald, who's from Virginia. Alan Toussaint's getting on a postage stamp early next year. Like Fats Domino was on one. Like Louis Armstrong was on one. Name another New Orleanian that was on a postage stamp. U.S. postage stamp. And if you can tell me the neighborhood Fats Domino grew up in, or the neighborhood Louis Armstrong grew up in, or another New Orleanian yet to be named that was on a stamp and the neighborhood they grew up in. That's like 4 questions out there. They're all individual questions. I got 50 big bucks for you, good at the Woodhouse. Just in time, too. Holiday season. Next month. It's creeping up on us. A week from Thursday, Thanksgiving. That means we're like 4 weeks out from Christmas. Christmas might be 4 weeks from Wednesday. Christmas and New Year fall on a Wednesday, midweek. A lot of folks are going to take off the entire week. Hey, New Orleans. Hey, Baton Rouge. Helm, Paint, and Decorating is there for you. Yesterday, this morning, when it's raining, that's when you go to one of the Helm locations and pick out your paint. Your Benjamin Moore paint, all price points. Benjamin Moore paint, a gallon covers more square footage than a gallon of the competitor. Google that. In New Orleans, 7 Helm paint and decorating locations, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. In Baton Rouge, 4 Helm paint and decorating locations in the capital city in Tigertown. Plus, I mentioned Benjamin Moore high-quality paint, free 2-hour delivery, so you or your crew can keep working. Helm Paint and Decorating, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. NOPD arrests a person of interest in one of those 2 Sunday second line shootings. I believe the individual's 15 years old. 8 search warrants issued, 4 guns seized. There's going to be more arrests coming this week in the next few days. Ann Kirkpatrick, superintendent of the NOPD, says those 2 second line shootings, not related at all. Not related at all. 1,000 days ago today, Russia invaded Ukraine. For 950 or so of those 1,000 days, we've been supplying the U.S. and NATO weapons to defend themselves, supplying weapons to Ukraine. President Biden over the weekend authorized the use of long-range U.S. missiles fired into Russia from Ukraine. Putin's freaking out, threatening to use nuclear weapons, just insane. It's like, hey, Putin, the U.S. has been supplying Ukraine with weapons for 950 plus days, decimating the Russian military. 1,200 casualties a day that Ukraine's putting on Russia, either killed or wounded, 1,200 a day. So desperate, Russia has brought in 10,000 North Korean troops, 10,000. They're not going to last long. No, Ukraine's been fighting like a reactive war, kind of like violent crime in New Orleans in the past, because it's diminished greatly. We were reactive. The police force was reactive. Now the NOPD and state troopers, the state troop NOLA, they're proactive. Russia, they're proactive. They're invading Ukraine. Ukraine's kind of just in a defensive posture now. Don't get me wrong. They invaded the Kursk region of Russia and took it over. Amazing. So they're as proactive as they can be, but they know where the drones and the missiles are coming from inside Russia. They see where they're launched. Now they can take those sites out. You've got 10,000 North Korean troops with tens of thousands of Russian troops with them, and they're about to come into the Kursk region. Yeah, you fire missiles and destroy those troops. So it can't just be Russia's way, like when we come in or when we do something, you can defend yourself. No, Ukraine needs to proactively defend themselves. That means knocking out drone launch sites, missile launch sites, and these drones and missiles doing so much damage in Ukraine. It's obnoxious. They're not hitting military targets either. Power plants, which that's legit, but hitting urban centers, apartment buildings, hospitals, grocery stores. And now Russia's going to complain about like the rules have changed. It's mind-blowing. Speaking of mind-blowing, a street flooded in Eden Isles. I'll fill you in on that.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King. Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets, it's like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
At 5 o'clock hour, brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company, bakers of that wonderful Leidenheimer French bread we love. If you're dining at a nice restaurant, chances are the first thing you're going to eat is going to be a piping hot little mini loaf of Leidenheimer French bread. That's such a treat when you're just hungry or at some fine dining restaurant, they bring that out. What a great way to start your meal. And then if you're in New Orleans, getting an authentic New Orleans style po' boy, it could be shrimp, oyster, roast beef, whatever. It's going to be on Leidenheimer French bread. That bread just holds everything together right in a po' boy. It's amazing. The official French bread of New Orleans, the official po' boy French bread of New Orleans. It's got to be Leidenheimer French bread. Good to the last crumb. Since 1896, Leidenheimer Baking Company. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Leidenheimer. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480. Alan Toussaint's going to get a stamp early next year, U.S. postage stamp. How cool is that? A few other New Orleanians have been on U.S. postage stamps, like Fats Domino, like Louis Armstrong. Alan Tucson will join them next month. There's still some other New Orleanians that have been on U.S. postage stamps. Give me the answer, and I've got 50 big bucks. Name a New Orleanian who's been on a U.S. postage stamp. Hey, and no Google or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or Bing, no internet device. You either know the answer or you don't. It's that simple. The way to participate in the program, the corporal fielding your phone calls, 766-9480. 766-9480. Yeah, that mid-Barrataria sediment diversion project delayed again. First, it was a few dozen oystermen and a few dozen fishermen. And then Plaquemine Parish suing to stop it. And what blows me away by this, I guarantee you, the majority of Plaquemine Parish residents, they're for the diversion project. They're for the diversion project. It's only going to strengthen Barrataria Bay, make it more resilient to storm, tidal surge, and the like, and protect Plaquemine Parish, protect New Orleans, protect Jefferson, protect St. Bernard. This thing has been studied for decades. It's green lighted. $3 billion with a B in funding already in place. Louisiana's already spent north of $500 million. But these few oyster fishermen and the fishermen in general and some of these Plaquemine Parish politicos have stopped the effort. Now it's even worse. Delayed again this time. So more studies can be done. They're concerned about the Mississippi water. This is unreal. The Mississippi River water flowing into Barrataria Bay. You know, the Mississippi drains like 42 states, 2 Canadian provinces. So we're downstream. There's a lot of crap in that water. That's what a marsh does. Naturally filters that water. And then the water and the sediment flows into Barrataria Bay. It's going to create about 25 miles of land. A lot of folks roll their eyes at that. $3 billion for 25 square miles of land. Plaquemine Parish only has like 400 or 500 miles of land. So it's pretty significant. It's pretty significant. And it's one of the biggest diversion projects in the state history. Just having the river kind of do what it used to do, mimicking what it did naturally. Look at Neptune Pass down by the mouth. It's a break in the, not levee, but the side of the river, and it's building land, because what you have right now is just sediment flowing off into the continental shelf in the Gulf, just wasted. I've said this before, because state land is state land, be it river or lake bottoms. That's part of Louisiana. The Army Corps of Engineers, and rightfully so, dredges the Mississippi River for ship traffic. Why is a radio host, television host, coming up with this idea and not one of our politicians, elected officials, one of our supposed, and I stress that word supposed, leaders coming up with this idea? Hey, Army Corps, you're dredging the river bottom. That's Louisiana land. And you're in a lazy mode, the easy mode, just dumping it off the continental shelf into the Gulf. That's our land. Every cubic yard you dredge needs to be spewed out in the marsh, needs to be pumped into pipes for miles, and a diversion project, a moving sediment through pipes, rebuilding barrier islands, rebuilding marsh and wetlands, strengthening our coast. Just letting that river bottom, that rich soil, just throw it off the continental shelf. That's Louisiana's land, river bottom or lake bottom. The Army Corps should be not just throw it away, disposing of that. Has to be put back into the marsh, the wetland, a place where it needs to be. Rebuilding barrier islands, put it on a barge, ship it somewhere, pipe it somewhere. Come on. Why am I thinking of that and not some lawyer who's a politician? Doesn't know that river bottoms, lake bottom, bayou bottoms, that's all Louisiana land if it's in the confines of the state's borders. No, it needs to be not thrown off the continental shelf just as garbage, trash into the Gulf, wasted. It needs to be put into a place that needs it desperately. Barrier islands, marsh, wetlands, and the like. Now, this mid-Barrataria sediment diversion, we love cutting off our nose to spite our face. The needs of the few, a few dozen oystermen, a few dozen fishermen. Hey, guys, you're going to fish farther out. Don't you remember your dad or your grandfather? This used to be land. Now it's open water. Barrataria Bay wasn't brackish or salt. The reason the dolphins are there now, because it's brackish and salt. The Gulf has invaded Barrataria Bay, and it continues to move north. And that salt water from the Gulf decimates the marsh and the wetlands. All you'd be doing is bringing Barrataria Bay back to how it used to be, fresh water, not brackish or salt water. Dolphins shouldn't be there. The dolphins shouldn't be there. And you oyster fishermen, you're just going to have to go farther out to further your endeavors. Here's the worst part. $375 million of the $3 billion goes to compensate those oystermen and fishermen. And then they can still continue their job, just doing it somewhere else. Just ridiculous. Selfish, living in today, not thinking about the future. And what's sad is these oystermen and fishermen that are opposed to that diversion, they know Louisiana land loss better than most. They live it and see it every day of their lives. Yet they still have this selfish attitude. It's crazy. Crazy. Emily Maw, head of DA Jason Williams' Civil Rights Division, has resigned. Now, besides vacating convicted felons or reducing their sentences, and in some of these cases, it's more than justified. It's not a black or white issue. No, yes, it's a very gray area. Maw may be most known for letting over a dozen Mardi Gras, arrested during Mardi Gras for carrying an illegal firearm. She basically agreed, hey, you guys turn in your firearm, relinquish your gun, and we'll drop the charges. She did that like on Mardi Gras Day. Jason Williams was very much against that. Emily Maw has resigned. The NOPD arrests a person of interest in one of the two Sunday second-line shootings. 8 search warrants have been issued, 4 guns seized so far. Ann Kirkpatrick, the superintendent of the NOPD, says the 2 second-line shootings, not related at all. Ronnie Lamarck, Ronnie Jr., yeah, they're related, father and son. Ronnie Jr. is, first off, Ronnie Sr. did not need any motivation, but now he has his son motivating him. The Lamarck Automotive Complex, Ronnie, about 3 years ago, poured $50+ million into Kenner, into the Lamarck Automotive Complex, state of the art. The big store, Lamarck Ford, over 45 years. Lamarck Lincoln, number 1 in the state, number 1 Lincoln dealership in the state. And then Ronnie Jr. and Ronnie Sr. scoop up Crescent City Ford, the legendary New Orleans Ford truck dealership for over 8 decades. So now on Jefferson Highway, it's Lamarck Crescent City Ford over by the river, and by the lake in Kennebra, it's the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Bridging the gap, taking care of you on both sides of the parish. Corey Johnson with you. 1,000 days ago today, Russia invaded Ukraine. President Biden over the weekend authorized use of long-range U.S.-made missiles fired by Ukraine into Russia. No, proactive fighting instead of reactive. Putin and Russia freaking out about it, threatening to launch a nuclear weapon, saying any long-range missile fired by Ukraine that's supplied by the U.S. or NATO is that country fighting Russia. Unbelievable. Yeah, a driver in Eden Isles. I'll fill you in when we come back on this. A few streets in Eden Isles flooded early this morning. This driver went about it in a crazy way to avoid the flooded streets. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Deliberto Total Maintenance Studios. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. If you need AC or heating help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com.
Special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Total Maintenance King. TM-AC.com. Your blue spot. TM-AC.com. Your blue spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something right, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Hey, New Orleans, got something good for you in just a few minutes. I'll be signing autographs at the Smoothie King on Jefferson Highway across from Oshter. When the show ends, come on out to Smoothie King, Jefferson Highway across from Oshter. I've got 8 by 11 inch black and white glossies, and I'm wearing the neutral ground windbreaker with the collar up. Bring your Sharpie pens. Smoothie King across from Oshter. I'll be signing autographs while supplies last. That's definitely something you want to frame and put in your house or at least on the refrigerator. 8 by 11 inch glossies, black and white, with me, wearing my neutral ground windbreaker with the collar popped up. All right, I won't be signing 8 by 11 inch black and white glossies. I'll never forget, I'm doing the Archie Manning show before a Saints game 30 years ago, like in the 90s. Archie would come on like, what was the routine? I guess it was, like if it was a noon kickoff, I guess Archie was maybe like 9 to 10. And then it would go to Buddy D for like an hour and a half. And then it'd go to, Jim Henderson and the crew. Taken into the game and with Archie doing color. It's Jim Henderson doing play-by-play, Archie Manning doing color. So I'm doing the game, and this guy walks up, and he's got a football, and it's got a bunch of great Saints players on it. And he's like, Archie, I don't have your signature. Will you sign it? Archie signs it. And he goes, Corey, will you sign it? I said, I would love to sign it if that's what you want. And I really appreciate you asking me. It's an honor. But they're all Saints players on this football. I don't want to, hurt the value of this ball you've got. I mean, you have some all-time Saints greats. And after chatting for a little while, I didn't sign the ball, and he was fine with that. I was like, I'll sign something else for you, but I don't want to wreck this ball. I'm not a Saint player, and he kind of got that. I thought that was, fair. It's not self-deprecating or something against me, or I'm trying, I'm insecure or something. I was just like, I don't think that's right. Anyway, yeah, I'll sign anything else at Smoothie King in a little while. I will be heading to Smoothie King on Jefferson Highway across from Oshner after work because Jay and his dad do it better. Always 2 people behind the counter, sometimes 3. They act with a sense of urgency. Remember, I was on the West Bank going to play a round of golf at Lakewood. I pull into the Smoothie King on General de Gaulle. The girl's just setting up. It's like 7:10, and they open at 7, and she's just setting up. And they're like 4 people waiting, no smoothies being made. I'm like, I don't have 15 or 20 minutes to sit here. I got a tea time. So I just left, walked out. And then I used to go to some other Smoothie Kings. When they open, when they close, they weren't following their own hours. And then I'm watching them mix my smoothie. I'm like, isn't it 2 scoops of Gladiator protein? Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm like, wow, I'm not watching. I'm getting, not the right smoothie. They always do it right. Jay and his dad have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. 2 locations if you want to experience the best. Jefferson Highway, right across the street from Oshner, and the old Metairie Smoothie King. Airline at LeBar, Airline by Causeway, and that Rouse's Shopping Center. Yeah, not all Smoothie Kings are the same. Go with the best. Jay and his dad, Smoothie King on Jefferson Highway across from Oshner, and the old Metairie Smoothie King, Airline at LeBar, Airline by Causeway, and that Rouse's Shopping Center. Yeah, I'll be at the one across from Oshner in probably 20 minutes, getting a vanilla Gladiator. Good stuff. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Pell's back in action. Want to check them out with like-minded fans? Tracy's, legendary Tracy's, magazine at Pleasant. I drove by there today.
Caddy corner from that Bromart on Magazine. Magazine at Pleasant. That's between Washington and Louisiana, the riverside of Magazine. All new, bigger and better than ever. Too many flat screens to count, and an actual real kitchen. Food you want to eat at a sports bar. Boy, is that rare. Including one of the best roast beef po' boys anywhere. Katie's Magazine at Pleasant. When it comes to checking out your favorite sports teams, Saints, Tulane, LSU, Pelicans, and more, hard to find a better spot than Tracy's Magazine at Pleasant. The NOPD arresting a person of interest in one of the 2 Sunday second line shootings. 8 search warrants issued. Police can't just write those up. A judge has to approve that. And 4 guns seized so far. Ann Kirkpatrick says the 2 second line shootings, not related in the least bit. Not related in the least bit. Yeah, this driver in Eden Isles, some street flooding in Eden Isles, the Oak Harbor exit, nice neighborhood. You know, the front of the house is on the street. The back of the house is on a canal where you got a boat on a little bayou. Some joker in the little 2-door electric BMW, the little small car. The street's flooded. He literally starts driving on people's front lawns. Like way in between like the sidewalk and the front door of the house. Off the street, going across their front lawns. A couple of things. This guy's going to be caught. How many 2-door little mini BMW electric vehicles are in Eden Isles? Second, there are all kind of cameras everywhere catching him. And third, it could be a felony north of $500. I hope it is a felony. Damaging the lawn, new sod, dirt, labor to put it in, got to be north of $500. Just people are insane. Hey, dude, BMW guy in the electric BMW, call in work saying your street's flooded, cancel whatever appointment you have. I mean, unless you were trying to bring your pregnant wife to the hospital because the baby was going to be delivered in your car, or you were at a track meet and someone threw a javelin through your neck and you're driving to the hospital yourself. I mean, otherwise, really no excuse for that crazy behavior. What's that, Blue Boy? Guy should have stayed home till the floodwaters and the flooded street went down. Yeah, you nailed it, Blue Boy. You nailed it. Thanks to the corporal. See you mañana. 4 p.m. Wide Open Wednesday. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.
Yes, it is.
You're good.